Previously on the EDgun Leshiy channel. I didn't know what to expect when I was invited to a rat-infested warehouse. All my buddy told me was, bring as much air and ammo as you can. So, I loaded up the truck and off we went. And a few hours later we arrived. And whatever I was thinking on the way down, well, this place was 1,000 times worse. There were rats everywhere. And this isn't your average recycling facility. This place has become the ultimate rat nest. And tonight, we're taking it back. In part 2, we're going to pick up right where we left off. Forehead tapping rats just like this with the 9mm EDgun Leshiy 2. These 80 grain polymags, man, these things hit like a truck. This guy's indented face, well, it does a pretty good job of illustrating that. Let me tell you a little bit more about the tools we're using in this rat-infested warehouse this night. We've got 2 different 9mm EDgun Leshiy 2s going. My son will primarily be on the thermal, which is the ATN Thor 5 XD, and it's the 4-40. Man, this thing is a beast of a rig for a 10-year-old.
Get him, buddy.
Considering at his age, I had my 760 Pump Master with some rusty irons.
Get him?
Yeah, he got him. This was the first time I brought my son on a hunting trip, and man, was it a blast. The length of pole on the Leshiy 2 is a little bit long for him, but without blinking an eye, he came up with this workaround. I turned my back and I turned around, and I saw him shooting, and I just started laughing. You know, digital scopes don't have parallax, so this workaround actually worked quite well. And with the help of the tripod, this kid was mag dumping the 9mm Leshiy 2 into these rats like a pro. Definitely some proud dad moments on this night, but I got in on the action too. With a similar rig, let me tell you a little bit about it. I'll be rocking the ATN X-Sight 5 in the 5 to 20x configuration. It's a little too dark for normal glass in here, so the ATNs, man, these things are going to be a huge advantage. Man, the noise these things make when you hit them with this big of a pellet is crazy. The impact sounds like you're popping balloons. You know, this is a recycling transfer station. So this is the first stop where plastic is separated from the garbage. And this is why this place is just absolutely overrun with rats. We do need to be careful, though. There's $1 million machinery all over this place. That in itself isn't that big of a deal because they're usually just built out of steel. It's the hydraulic lines that you need to be really careful of. My son needed to take a leak, so I escorted him down to the break room. And on the floor, I was actually pretty empathetic with the people that work here. These rats were literally running over our feet. And while the little man was doing his business, I posted up and I just smoked a few with the thermal. Working at this place just must be wild. There's got to be 1,000 rats just in this pile of trash right in front of me. So freaking gross. Man, the impact noise is something else. It's like pest control ASMR. You know, filming just with my iPhone right here, you could just see, it's actually kind of hard to see them. And with the thermal, man, those things cannot hide. You know, I forgot to tell you guys about the third Leshiy 2 setup that we brought down with us. This is the 450mm 7.62, but with something special on the end. This is the brand new barrel tensioning system from EDgun West with a quick detach lug for the behemoth suppressor built directly into it. I'll do a little review on this in upcoming videos, but tensioning a barrel is just an absolute game changer, and it's also insanely quiet. So on the way to this warehouse, we actually stopped at the farm to test the tensioning system. So we were just stacking slugs at 100 yards, and for giggles, I was like, well, let's see what it does at 200. And I was hitting whipped cream cans literally at will. Remember, this is a gun that folds in half and can fit in a small backpack. This isn't some 50-pound bench gun that you need to hold with white gloves. I didn't have the time to film much more than this, but I'll get to it in some upcoming weeks and you guys can really see this. This is actually available now, so I'll throw a link down in the description if you guys want to check it out. Back on the rats, this new rig performed as you'd expect. The Dirty 30, man, this thing is back. She's got a whole new vibe. back up to the kind of top of these rafters here, and I jump back behind the 9mm with the ATN Excite 5 to smash just an endless conveyor belt of rats right in front of us. Oh man, that one got it in the eyeball. His buddy took one in the shoulder. Here's those hydraulic lines I was talking about earlier. I had to be super careful, so I just took the one that was down below in front of the lines instead of that one up top. The back wall is about 80 yards, so a lot of these, where these guys are, about 70, 75 or so. So they thought they were safe under those pallets, but nope, we would just pick them off one by one. You could see just how big this trash pile is. And the rats, man, these things were literally everywhere. I just went to town on the ones that were all the way in the back and just emptied out the rest of this mag. You know, if we had someone just loading mags for us all night, we probably would have shot another 1,000 of them. But in all honesty, my trigger finger didn't really mind the occasional break to load up a few mags. My hand was aching by the end of the night. I gave the thermal setup back to my son, and I jumped back on mine that I had set up with the night vision for some of these closer range ones that were literally just below us. The 9mm, man, it absolutely smashes these things. I kept looking over to check in on my son, and he just had this huge grin on his face, squeezing round after round. This is going to be a pretty late night for him, but nothing can beat spending some time with him outside of the house. Hopefully he feels the same, and with that grin on his face, I'm leaning towards best night ever. I've been teaching him to shoot over the past, 4 or 5 years, but these were, at the time, it was stationary targets with a gun pretty dialed in off a bench. So these were moving targets off of a tripod. Super impressive with how well he adapted to the length of pulls issues that he was having early on, and also just shooting within this environment in general. It was a super proud moment for me. This little garbage feeder thing here was a magnet for these rats. I must have killed 50 of them off of this exact spot. They would just fall right into the bins below. Easy cleanup for the morning shift below. I decided to take a break and load up a bunch of mags all at once and just sit here and watch him smoke a few. He was getting a little too close to some of the machinery, and I needed to remind him a couple of times. But other than that, this kid is a natural. EDgun Leshiy Jr. was definitely racking up the rat kills tonight. It was getting late, and I could tell he was getting tired. So I was going to just let him finish off a few of these mags that he had left, and I was going to do the same, and we'll call it a night. We took over 1,000 rats this night, and walking out, the trash piles, man, they still looked like they were moving. It was so gross. We didn't even put a dent in them, which is, in my mind, kind of a good thing, right? Because I don't work here, for starters. And for second, I think the real good reason is that means I get to come back. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. You like these rat series? I was thinking maybe bring in some exploding pellets the next time to see what they do. The trash is actually kind of wet, so I think we're good and safe as far as starting fires go. If you like shots like this, you should probably watch this video next.